All right. Wonderful. Well, hello and welcome to our first official Activate Academy. Brian and Highfield here coming to you live from Sarasota, Florida. We're going to share with you briefly a little bit about our story, but we're so happy and thrilled that you are taking time out of your morning to join us. So I want you, yes, drop in the chat, say good morning, let us know what city and state it is that you're coming from. It's always fun to see where people are tuning in, but just give yourselves a pat on the back. All right. Give yourselves a high five, give yourselves a pat on the back because you made the decision to invest in yourself and show up today. All right. And not everybody can say that, especially when it comes to their LifeVantage business. So kudos to you. Congratulations for joining us. Now, just briefly, Cliff Note version. For those of you who don't know Brian and I, we have been blessed to be a part of LifeVantage family for 13 incredible years. This opportunity found us because, let's be honest, we weren't looking for anything. It found us. And so, a little bit about our story. Maybe you can relate. We were already busy people being busy. All right. Brian and I were both working full-time jobs in corporate America. I was working for the banking industry and Brian as a computer engineer for the phone company. And we were working 40 plus hours a week. There was no such thing as just a 40-hour work week. But because we understood the importance of multiple streams of income, we thought, hey, why not own a traditional business too? So we also own and operated a sports business that had Brian coaching and us traveling for tournaments on the nights and the weekends. And so between our full-time JOBs and running a business, as well as factoring in friends and family, the last thing that we thought that we had time for was another project. At least that's the way that I looked at it. But one of the coaches in our volleyball club reached out to Brian and said, hey, you got to watch this ABC primetime video. And he did. And it really captured Brian's attention. He had countless people knock on his door as a sports club owner, offering the juices and all the things, and just nothing captured his attention. It just seemed like it was just, there was nothing that made it different or special. But when he saw that ABC Primetime Investigative report, he said, there's something here. And so he started to peel back the layers and started to do some research because if you know my husband, he's a little bit of a research nerd. He's a little bit of a science guy, right? He's the geek, and that's okay. For those of you who are that way, that's awesome. Get that information that you need. But long story short, he made a decision to get involved. I did eventually as well, but that's a story for another time. But long story short, when I made the decision to go with Brian to an actual event, a huge convention, and I know that we have one coming up. We'll be talking about that towards the end of today. You want to make sure you get registered for that. But when we made the decision to go to an event together, that's when everything changed. That's when we saw the vision, we saw the possibilities. I saw this as a way to get out of the job that I just didn't love anymore, right? The stress and demands of the job were impeding my health and my overall just well-being. I'm like, I don't want to do this for the next 40 years. So what are my options, right? I never would have thought it would have been network marketing, but here we are. We said we were going to give it 3 to 5 years and see what happened. And thankfully, through following the system, we're going to talk about the system and the specific skills that you need in order to build this business. Being coachable, showing up for the events and doing the do, along with the help of our incredible team. Obviously, we were able to reach the executive ranks, and everybody's journey is different. So some people do it quickly, some people do it slower. But here we are, right? Now we are in Florida where we moved from Ohio because we didn't want to participate in winter anymore because LifeVantage gave us options. And we have been full-time with LifeVantage now for nearly a decade, loving what we do, being able to be present parents and supporting our team, as well as continuing to help other people see what's possible so that LifeVantage can be the solution for them as well, whether it's their health or finances or both. And so please go ahead, make sure you got your notebooks and your pens ready. You made a decision to be here. I would love to see your smiling faces. If you can join us, we are going to be sharing some slides, but I thought one of the best ways to go ahead and maybe, kick off this morning is with a little bit of vision, right? Look at this. We got Indiana in the house, Louisiana, Orlando, Texas, Virginia. Oh, I love it. I love it. Love to see all you today. But I think that it's important to think about success. And let's be honest, nothing worth having isn't uphill. Okay. So it's going to require effort. It always requires effort. And our brains are inherently seem to be wired to want to take the path of least resistance, right? Who wouldn't? But I want to share a little short story with you this morning. And I want you to think like, who do you think this person might be? Okay. So I'm going to be sharing with you a story about a gentleman who really just started out as a really shy kid from Oregon. We have anybody from Oregon on here? And this gentleman, he running, loved running, but he didn't quite fit the mold of a star athlete, right? Have you ever felt like you wanted something, but you never felt like maybe you would quite fit in or fit the perfect mold, right, for that? So after college, he had a crazy, crazy idea, and he thought, what if running shoes could actually be made differently? What if running shoes could be made lighter, better, faster, right? He loved running, so why not build something or create something? So here was the problem. He didn't have any money. He didn't have any connections. He didn't have a network. And he didn't know how, he didn't have a factory. Like, he's like, how am I even going to make, like, where do I even start? Have you ever felt that way in your Life Vantage business? Right? So here's the thing. He took a leap. He took a leap and he borrowed, yes, borrowed $50 from his dad, and he traveled to Japan and pitched a shoe company on letting him distribute their product in the US. Think about that for a second. He went to a completely different country and asked if he could pitch their shoes in the US. Now, from there, this is where it gets kind of funny. You would think that he had a bunch of success right away. No, absolutely not. Nobody knew who this guy was. Nobody knew, like, why are you pitching these shoes? Now, he began actually selling shoes out of the trunk of his car at track meets. Think about that. He went to track meets where people were running and he started trying to hawk these shoes out of the trunk of his car. Now, most people laughed at him. Most people laughed at him. Many told him that he was never going to make it. The banks turned him down for loans, and his business nearly collapsed multiple times. Again, are you guys drawing the correlation? Like, have you ever felt like maybe the people that are closest to you don't necessarily understand or support what you're doing? Right? We have that fear or judgment of other people. But guess what? He kept going and he kept showing up. And he kept believing in the vision of what was possible. And that vision grew into the largest athletic brand in the world, one that literally inspires millions of athletes, professional athletes, Olympians, kids aspire to it every single day. And some of you may already have heard this story. Maybe you already know, maybe you want to drop it in the comments. The guy's name was Phil Knight. He's the creator and founder of Nike. Just do it. Just do it. Think about that. So here's, again, success doesn't always have to start with money. It doesn't have to have a bunch of influence or the perfect circumstances, right? Sometimes it literally starts with a bold idea, taking a little bit of risk, and then believing in the ordinary, just and turning it into something impactful, something extraordinary, okay? And that's what we have here at Life Vantage, okay? We have taken this amazing, bold idea, this activation technology, which is way ahead of its time and always has been, even though people are just now starting to get a little taste of it, and we're taking a little risk, right? We're putting ourselves out there to see who would be open to being a part of this incredible ride, to partake in these activation technology, the businesses, and I'm sure we could kind of expand on that a little bit more. But today we're going to be talking about, again, does everyone know what the system is? if you know what our system is here at LifeVantage, I want you to drop it in the comments for me real quick. It's not a trick question, I promise you. It's not a trick question. There you go. Cindy, ITT, Cheryl, ITT, Christy, there we go. Nancy's to Katina. Thank you so much, you guys. Yes. ITT, Tom, invite, tool, team. That's it. We have this tendency to want to overcomplicate things, and we feel like we need to, again, we're trying to find the quickest way to success. And I get it. No one wants to, take a long time to get anywhere. We have no patience these days. And I don't think it's always our fault when we look at TV and marketing and media and advertising these days, but inviting, tool, and team. And so today, we're actually going to be diving into, we're going to be talking about the power of inviting, the concepts behind it, giving you a little bit of ideas and direction on that. We're also going to be talking about the follow-up, because that is essential. If you're going to invite somebody, you got to follow up with them usually, right? Most people aren't going to go ahead and say, I'm all in on the first time around. And then also we have a special presenter and guest with us today as well. You're going to get to hear from her. She is actually a presidential with the company. And although she couldn't be on with us live because it's super early where she's at, she actually recorded a training for us around closing and objections. And so then we're going to obviously close everything out today. Feel free to ask questions or drop things in the comments as we go. We will do our best to answer those throughout the course of this call. And if we have some time at the end, we'll go ahead and answer those as well if we didn't already answer them in this. Now here, I want you to understand, this is going to be a monthly training. So any month in which LifeVantage is not having a corporate event, we will be doing this virtual event. We already have plans to collaborate with other top leaders. Hopefully not to put you on the spot, but hopefully the Wagners will be joining us here at some point. And each person are going to be collaborating with us in ways to bring the fundamental skills that are necessary to grow your business and give you different perspectives and share different stories. And we're going to do this every single month. So make sure that you keep an eye out for whenever we announce the next one here coming in September, Activate Academy. So here we go. You guys ready? If you're ready, drop a 1 in the comments. Give me thumbs up, hands, all the things. Love it. Not everybody's showing us their smiley faces. I get it. Some people have that bedhead. I don't care. You can just come in on yourself. Come in as yourself. Wonderful. Love it. All right. Lots of 1s going on in the chat. So we're going to start out by giving you the opportunity. I'm going to send this over to my amazing, wonderful, supportive, hardworking husband, Brian. Brian's actually upstairs in his office. Yes, we're in the same house. We're just in different rooms. Anyway. And he is going to really dive into you about the power of inviting and give you some direction on that. So please go ahead and get your pens ready and your notebooks ready and take it away.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. I'm really proud of everybody getting up early and spending this morning with us and going over some skills that are really crucial to be successful in this business. We really try to keep it as simple as possible in here, and that's really key because once we start making it complicated, then your chances of success goes down. And I know that firsthand because I really made this complicated in the beginning. I would sit there and talk for hours. I would dive really deep into science because, as Holly said, I'm the super science nerd. It's a true story. And so I would really, at one time I remember I sat down with a guy at a restaurant and I started talking about LifeVantage. And when I was done talking, I looked at my watch and I had talked straight for 2 hours. 2 hours. This guy was exhausted listening to me. Do you think he signed up? Absolutely not. He's like, I can't do that. I can't regurgitate all the facts and figures and all the science. I mean, he's like, the product sounds cool, but I just did it wrong way. I just felt like he needed all the information all at once, and I needed to be the one to give it to him, and that just is not the case. Keep it simple. Be the messenger, not the message in this. And so I love it when Holly kicked off that story. It just brought back so many thoughts in there because we are really part of something special here. with LifeVantage. There's no other company like it. Out of the thousands of companies out there that make supplements, we're the only company that makes activators. And we're so special in that I hope you see the difference. And I don't have time today to get on my what I call my soapbox and go through everything we have going for us as a company today. Just understand you're in a special place. You're here for a reason. You found this for a reason. And we're so happy that you're here, and we want everybody to get the success that they want to get out of this with that. So, with that, Holly mentioned ITT, Invite Tool Team. It is our system. This page is cut right from our launch guide that the company has. And if you haven't seen this, don't know what I'm talking about, we have a wonderful tool called the Hub, hub.lifevantage.com, and it's got training on it. And you click on that, and under there you can find the launch guide, and it has some of the examples that I'm going to be going over with you this morning. But excuse me, the invite is the first part of it. And honestly, I think the invite is the one of the most important, if not the most important skill that you need to develop and really hone in on with your LifeVantage career. It's so crucial. It's really, again, it's the first step. And if you can't get the first step, get that right, then you're going to struggle with the rest of it. And so, however, the good news is we're going to keep it really, really simple. And the more and more you do this, the more you practice the invite, the more simple it gets. And it just really becomes second nature to you when you do this. Now, there's some basic principles that you want to keep in mind when you are inviting someone. Again, we're inviting someone to something, right? We got to know what the something is. So know what tool you're inviting to. It may be a video, it may be a webinar, maybe you're sharing some before and after pics. Maybe you're inviting them to an actual meeting, whether it be in someone's home, maybe at a hotel meeting. But you've got to know what you're inviting to when that. Now you're inviting everyone you know, everyone you meet, because everybody's like, well, I don't know anybody. Well, you do. Pull out your phone, go through your contact lists. If you're on Facebook, which a lot of you are, go through all your friends on Facebook. And also, there's a great memory jogger tool in the hub that I talked about in your launch guide. There's a great memory jogger that you can go through and just expand your database of names, because we all you actually know more people than what you think. I think the average person actually knows about 500 people on average, and maybe you're less than average, but still, that could be several hundred people that you know. I remember when I first started with this, and I was told to make a list. And I'm a spreadsheet guy, so I opened up a spreadsheet in Excel and I started typing out names. And I remember to this day, I had 63 names that I just did a quick memory dump. And I just started with number one and started going through that list and inviting people. And before I got halfway through the list, I already had a team started. Because a lot of those people either signed up as customers or they signed on as consultants. And I was up and running with the team, and all of a sudden I started helping them. So it's important to have a long list that you go through and just go through it. And you don't want to prejudge people at all. Quick story about that. I prejudged my cousin. Well, I was at a Thanksgiving dinner. I only saw her a couple times a year. And I was at Thanksgiving and she asked me, Brian, what's new? And I said, oh, well, work's going good, but I found this thing called LifeVantage. And she said, tell me more. And I didn't think this is something she'd be interested in. But then she started asking questions and more questions and more questions. And she signed up a week later, and in her first week, she signed up 20 customers. And if someone that wasn't even on my list, I didn't even think of talking to, because I didn't think she would be interested in something like this. And so, just another example is you just can't prejudge who's going to want to do this, because people surprise you. The people you think don't want to do it or can't use it are the ones that end up grabbing the bull by the horns and running with this. And some of the people you think, oh, I got to talk to so and so, they're going to kill this, they're going to be great. Sometimes those people are like, I don't want to do it. It's not for me. And that's okay. They get to decide. Don't make that choice for them by prejudging them. Let them decide. So we want to invite everybody we know, everybody we meet. Quick story. We were at dinner in Ohio. We were visiting Ohio. We were at dinner one night, and the waiter made an impression on us. He was really attentive, really good, very personable, had some great people skills. And at the end of the dinner, when he brought the check, I asked him, I said, man, you really, you know your job, you do your job well, you made an impression on us. And I said, let me ask you a question. You know, when it comes to making money, do you keep your options open? And he said, absolutely. And I gave him an out. I said, "This is a yes or no question. No's perfectly fine answer. But if I were to give you some information to look at about a business opportunity, would you be open to it?" And he said, "Sure, absolutely." And he gave me his cell number. Okay, just an example of a quick, simple invite of just everyday people that you meet along the way, whether that be in the grocery store, whether it be in a restaurant like that, or whether it be out on the street, maybe at your kid's ball game, wherever there's people everywhere. That's the thing about people; they are everywhere. You're going to run into people, and just keep LifeVantage in the forefront of your mind as you're meeting new people in there. And the last point on this slide cover, it's important to be excited about it. If you're not excited, they're not going to be excited about this. So you've really got to show your excitement about what we have when you're inviting someone. So that's just another extra tip that's going to make this work a lot more smoothly. So our goals in the invite is we're going to pique their interest, we're going to see if they're open to learning more, and we're going to get them to a tool. Those are our goals in the invite. Our invite should pique their interest. So again, we want to be excited about something. Well, what do you get excited about? Something you're interested in, right? So we got to pique their interest because we have something really special here that I said before. Okay. We're going to ask if they're open to learn more, and we're going to expect them to say yes. Okay. We're going to expect them to say yes to that question. And then we're going to get them to a tool, and we want to know what tool we're going to send them to beforehand, right? Now, here is the $1,000,000 formula right here. This is the formula, very simple format for your invite. Okay, very simple. It starts out, I found something. Okay, and that something obviously is LifeVantage. Maybe it's a specific product with LifeVantage. Maybe it's the opportunity with LifeVantage. Maybe it's all the above. But man, I found something. I found something, and you're going to tell them why you thought of them. Okay, that's the next piece of it. I thought of you because you're a health conscious person. I thought of you because you're a smart business person. I thought of you because you're my really good friend. Okay, whatever the reason, why ever they popped into your head, you tell them that. Tell them, I thought of you because. So that's the second component of this. Now, third component, this is the most critical. This is the multi-million-dollar question. And I say that because this question has made us millions of dollars. Okay? That's why I call it the $1,000,000 question. It's a very simple question. It's a yes or no question. Are you open to taking a look? Are you open to taking a look? I've asked this question thousands of times over the past decade. No one, not a single person has ever said, no, I'm not open. No one. That's why I expect them to say yes. Okay. Now, sure, I've had the skeptical people that are like, they don't say no, but they're like, I don't know. What is it? You know, I've had those people. Okay. But no one's ever said, no, I'm not open. Okay. So expect them to say yes. And you're going to have those skeptical people that want a little bit more of a taste or a smell of what we've got before they commit to saying, yes, I'm open. That's okay. But most people are going to generally say, yeah, what do you got? Okay. But that's the $1,000,000 question. Are you open to taking a look? Expect them to say yes. And when they say yes, then we're ready to share a tool at that time. Okay. So what are the tools that we can, these are I think the top four. Usually we're sending them to maybe a video to watch, or my favorite is actually sending them to a webinar, whether it be a live webinar or maybe something that's pre-recorded. But I love webinars because most of the pre-recorded webinars out there are the webinars that people do within LifeVantage are really good, and they cover everything. They cover their story, whoever the presenter is, they tell their story. They tell the company story, the product story. They talk about how we get paid as a business. Okay, so they cover everything. So it's a great a great introduction to LifeVantage to see some of those opportunity webinars. And there's some great ones out there. So find one that you really like, have that in your back pocket as a recorded one. But also keep in tune to ones that are going on live. There's some that are going live really every week. So you have something to invite people to. Maybe it's your website, okay? Your replicated website, or maybe your team has its own website that you send people to. But there, website's a great tool. And then literature, just some of the printed literature. We have some of that here. We have a huge Amish team, and that's what they have to use. They have to use literature because a lot of them don't have online access. They can't log into a webinar or watch a video, but they can share some printed material with that too. So those are all examples of tools. Maybe there's others that your particular team likes to use, but pick one and that's your go-to. Okay. Again, keep it simple because I always get the question all the time. It's like, well, where should I send them? What tool should I use? And so have a go-to, have a standard. Maybe it's your replicated site. Maybe it's a pre-recorded webinar that you really love. Okay. But have that in your hip pocket ready as your default tool to send someone to. All right, I got some examples here. I hope this plays. Let me know if it doesn't, Holly, but I think I've got sound set up to where you can actually hear what's being said. So I got 3 sample invites that are following that formula that I went over, okay? I found something. I thought of you because are you open to taking a look? So listen to these examples.
I found this really cool health product that gets your body to do what it did when you were young. Now, I've been taking it for a while and I really love it. I immediately thought of you because you like to keep up with the latest health discoveries. Are you open to taking a look at it?
Okay, very simple,
I
right?
found this really cool health product that gets your body to
There
do
it
what
is.
it
I thought
did
there were
when you were
words.
young. Now, I've been taking it for a while and I really love it. I immediately thought of you because you like to keep up with the latest health discoveries. Are you open to taking a look at it?
Okay, so that's the first one, right? Let's try another example.
You know, I saw these before and after pictures for a collagen product that were so amazing that I had to try it for myself, and I absolutely love it. I thought of you because I think you'll love it too. Are you open to checking it out?
Okay, another one. It kind of follows the formula, right? I found something. I saw these before and after pictures. I thought of you because I think you'll like this product. Are you open to checking it out? Okay, one more.
Hey, by the way, I found this company that is pioneering a new health technology. It has everything going for it, and I think there might be an opportunity for you and I to make some money with this. Are you open to taking a look to see if you see what I see?
Okay, this one's a little bit geared more towards business and the opportunity. But again, I found something. I found this company. They're making this new health technology. It was great, innovative technology. And I thought of you because I think we could make some money together with this. Are you open to taking a look and if you see what I see? Okay, great. Just again, keep it as simple, ending it with the are you open to taking a look? You're asking that yes or no question with that. So there we go. So that's I again, we'll try to keep it real simple with the invite. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. You don't have to be real wordy and explain yourself. And I hope that removes a lot of the fear that goes behind asking someone. You're just going to end with that, are you open to taking a look? And know that. And you follow that simple formula, I found something great. I thought of you because are you open to taking a look? Use your words, use your phrases to kind of fill in the blanks there. But I think that's the simplest way that we can invite someone to see this. And again, expect them to say yes. No one's ever said no to me when I've asked, "Are you open to taking a look?" Now, when they do the skeptics and they say, "Well, I don't know," yeah, I need to hear a little bit more before I give you a yes or no. What I usually do is we say we let them smell the brownies, but don't let them taste the brownies. Okay, I'm not going to go into this presentation for them, but I'm going to tell them a little bit about what they're going to see. So if they say, I don't know, what is this? It's like, well, I want to send you to a video to watch. It's really short, but it's going to explain this fantastic product, this fantastic company, and show you a little bit more information. So they just need to know what to expect. And so usually if I just tell them what I'm going to send them to, or what the next step is, usually that's enough. And they're like, okay, okay, yeah, send that to me. I want to watch it. So again, keep it simple. Can't stress that enough with this. Let's keep it simple.
I love it. I love it. Did any of you find any value in what Brian shared? Right? Some of you raise your hands. Yes, maybe no. For some of you, it's just a refresher, right? Tina's raising her hand. Love it. Yes, Christy, Ricky. I mean, look, again, we have this need to overcomplicate and overthink things, because what we do is we start letting fear creep in. We start letting the idea of other people judging us and what we're going to share with them creep in, and then we start overthinking. Well, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? And well, what if they say, well, what is it? And you're like, okay, well, great. You know what? I'll tell you exactly what it is through a 10-minute video. If I send it, will you watch it? It's that simple. Say, hey, look, are you, like Brian said, are you open to taking a look? If yes, awesome. I've got a 6-minute video I'm going to shoot over your way. It may or may not be a fit for you. But I want to show you what it is that I'm really excited about. If not, then you're not going to hurt my feelings. People love being given an out. When you give them an out and you give them options, right? Then how can you feel like you're being salesy? Someone's literally been telling you like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what has happened, but over the last year, I have really struggled with getting a good night's sleep." Hello. Be like, "Hey, a couple days later, you follow up with them like Brian said, "Hey, you were telling me the other day about how you've been really struggling with sleeping. Like, I think I found something that could possibly help you with that if you're open to taking a look at it. Like, I promise I'm not going to waste your time. And if you're interested, I'll send you some info, but if not, then no big deal." Like, how salesy is that? Not at all. You're literally offering them a solution to something that they've already complained to you about, right? Or they've shared with you about. So thank you again, Brian, for doing that. And again, we could go through different scripts and things like that all day, but the bottom line is you just have to ask people if they're open. You know, it's a yes or a no or a what do you got? It's like, well, I don't know. What is it? Say, well, if I'll send you a video. Don't feel like Brian said, we have this, we have this feeling or need to want to explain ourselves more, because then we're like, well, I don't want to make it seem like, I'm trying to keep something from them or anything. Like they're asking me what it is. I feel like I should tell them what it is before I show them what it is. No, don't do that. Don't spoil it. It's like telling someone to go see an amazing movie and telling them the end of the movie, right? Nobody does that. Or read this awesome book, but let me tell you how it ends first. No, nobody does that. Nobody does that, right? So look, there's different videos. And this is the other thing is I don't want people to get hung up on, well, what video do I send? Well, this person's interested in this. What's a good video for this? Find a video that you've watched and loved. It could be the ABC primetime video. You can say, hey, this is where it all started. If this piques your interest at all, then we can have a chat and we can explore it more, right? The company has these great, if you actually go to your LifeVantage website, they actually have videos that talk about the power. They're like opening, I call them like first touch videos. It's a great video. It's updated. It talks about really the power of activation and the technology. It talks about people, everyday stresses. It's not just product driven. It's a little bit of both. Because at the end of the day, like Brian said, you just want them to kind of smell it's like going to a buffet. That's Brian's analogy. I'm stealing his analogy. When you go to a
Mhm.
buffet, you don't only eat one thing. When you go to a buffet, you want to see a little bit of everything. You take a little bit of taste of everything to see what you want to go back for seconds for. And that's what you're trying to do with your LifeVantage business. You want to give people a little bit of taste of what's available, and then you're going to ask them, what do you want to learn more about? Right? And then you can direct them to the information that way. So thank you so much, Brian. Again, if you guys have questions, I've seen a couple questions that have popped in. We've been trying to do our best to answer some of those as well. We do have a pre-recorded opportunity webinar, Zoom, if you will, that Brian has done. It's on our team website. And again, if you're upline leaders or you have something that you're using that's working, use it. We are in no way telling you to deviate from the system or the tools that you're already using that you're comfortable with. Okay. Because sometimes when we start seeing shiny pennies, we think, oh, this is what's going to guarantee me a yes. No, it's just another tool. So find the tools that work best for you, put them on your phone, on your notepad, so that when someone asks you, you can literally copy and paste so that you're not scrambling to go find those letters, or I'm sorry, those videos and those resources last minute when someone asks you about that. Right. So Elena, she says, I always overthink it. I appreciate your vulnerability with that. We do, right? I inherently overthink. My husband's probably laughing. I overthink things all the time. And then I have to catch myself like, Holly, why are you overthinking this? You're stressing this. It's like the bottom line is and we could probably do a whole webinar just on this, but there's psychology around how our brains are wired. And if we take more than 5 seconds to start questioning what we're about to do, we won't do it. Our body and our brains, like, we want to stay comfortable. We want to stay comfortable. We want to keep doing what's comfortable for us. That's why it's so difficult sometimes for us to step outside our comfort zones and do something out of the ordinary. So anyway, so that's just a little bit of scratching the surface on inviting. Okay. Now, what might be so the next skill we were going to talk to you a little bit about today is the follow-up. Okay. How I like the name that I came up here with this, from crickets to conversations.
I think that's good.
Mastering the follow-up game. I mean, how many of you have tried to follow up with someone and all you hear is crickets, right? They're ghosting you. And then we start wondering like, oh, they must not be interested. And oh my gosh, and I made a complete fool of myself. Any of this sound relatable? You're absolutely right, Cindy, the 5-second rule. I love that book. If you are a book reader or you like to listen to books on audio, the 5-second rule can forever change your life. It will literally stop you from overthinking, and it'll have you taking more action in your life. And that in itself will build your confidence and your posture. And it's pretty cool. So from crickets to conversation, mastering the follow-up game. So I don't know how to like give you a signal to keep moving. And that's why I was like, maybe I should.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I was reading questions and stuff. Sorry.
Well, yeah, that's why I was like, maybe I'll go ahead and do that. But so again, I'm sure you've all heard of this before. Maybe you haven't, I don't know, but we've always heard that the fortune's in the follow-up. We hear that all the time, okay? But it's truly one of the most overlooked skills in network marketing. More than 80% of sales happen after 5 to 12 touches. I want you to think about that for a second. Ask yourself, drop it in the comments. How many times did you have to hear about LifeVantage before you made the decision to actually get involved? How many times? How many videos? How many phone calls? How many text messages? How many events? How many things did you have to see or hear before you were like, okay, I'm willing to go for this, right? Brian said 6. Amy said quite a few. Kara said, it said 3 years worth. Can you imagine having to follow up with someone for 3 years? Sarah said twice. Oh, Cindy said once, but it was Jackie. Understood. I mean, some people you're like, how do you say no to that person? You just can't, right? And so just understand and be patient, especially in this day and age. Most people have to see an ad or see something multiple times before they're going to make the decision in getting involved. So the sad part is, though, is that 44% of salespeople give up after just one attempt. Think about that. How does that make sense? You get the courage to and put aside your fear or push through the fear, and you invite someone to take a look at something. You follow up with them once, and maybe they don't respond right away, or they don't respond the way that you had hoped that they would, and then you don't follow up again. What? What? That's a little bit of self-sabotage right there. If you're going to do the work, see it through to the end till you get a decision. Whether it's a yes, no, or a not now, do that. Because here's the thing, following up is it's not, you're not badgering them. If they said that they were interested and they said they would do something, and you're following up to see if they did what they said they were going to do, how is that badgering someone? You're literally planting seeds. You've heard that scenario before. The whole concept, think about follow up like this. Your job is to provide them with the information that they need to make a decision. That's it. It might take 3 follow ups, it might take a week, it might take 6 months. You just don't know. For example, earlier this week, I reached out to a woman. She's on my, actually, I reached out to a bunch of people on my chicken list. This week was the week of chicken lists, okay? And I reached out to this woman and I said to her, I said, look, I said, shame on me. I said, I've always admired you, blah, 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 blah. I would love to see if you would be open to taking a look at what it is that Brian and I do. It's created an incredible lifestyle for us and our family. And I know it's a crazy idea. And if you want to say no, you absolutely can. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But if you're open to it, I would love to have a conversation. She responded very quickly and was like, oh my gosh, yes. She goes, thank you so much for asking. I'm so honored. She goes, as a single mom, even though 3 of my 4 boys are adult kids, she goes, I'm still super busy. Would you mind following up with me after Labor Day? I was like, absolutely. I was thrilled with that response because she's not telling me no. She's like saying, thank you for asking me. That's really awesome. I want to hear about it. But now's not a good time. Follow up with me. So what did I do? I put in my Google Calendar. On my calendar, I put it on my calendar so I wouldn't forget that I'm going to follow up with her in September. Okay. So just think about it as planting seeds. Some are going to sprout right away, others are going to take a little bit more time. But if you're consistent with watering those seeds, then you're going to get those responses that you're looking for. Okay. So as we move on, I don't know. Do you need to give me to give you like a, all right. What are some reasons why people don't follow up? What do you guys have any ideas you want to pop in the comments? Why might someone not follow up? All right, I think I kind of already talked about these a little bit, right? Fear, exactly, right? Because sometimes we're so fearful of what they are going to say, meaning they're not going to give us the response that we hope for, that it's just safer for us just not to say. Brian says lazy, not organized. That's true. Sometimes you're just not organized enough and you forget to follow up with somebody. Okay. So whether you feel like you're being pushy or you're assuming that the response is going to be no, you know, things like that, you're not organized. Yep, Katina, I've had that on my list here. Those are just some of the reasons why people might not follow up. But as we've already learned, a majority of the decisions in sales are made after 5 to 12 exposures, right? So it's our job. If we're going to start it, let's finish what we started. Okay. So as we're moving on here, I really think next time you got to give me the control of the slides there, babe. That might be easier.
Just say, Brian, click.
Brian, click. Brian, click. All right. So some of the common mistakes, right, is don't send a copy paste script. All right. It's okay to have maybe a standard response or something, but you got to make sure that you're tweaking and modifying it when you're following up with someone, or else it is going to sound or feel spammy, especially if the words aren't the way that you would speak to them if you were on the phone with them. Okay. Um, don't just follow up with someone when there's a sale. If the only time you're talking or following up or checking in with someone is when there's a sale, yuck, right? Don't ghost people after one try. We already talked about that a little bit. You can't take the silence personally. Let me repeat that again. You cannot take silence personally. I know it's easy to do because when they're silent, we start internalizing and making it about us. It's not about us. Okay. So you don't know what's going on in their lives. And at the end of the day, we're only human. People, they don't see the value, they don't see the priority in it yet. And so they're not working this like a business like you are. Okay. And then obviously, when you're following up with someone, you don't want to pressure or guilt them. And we certainly don't want to be sending them paragraphs of information they didn't ask for. Right? If you're just slapping stuff on the wall and say, "Hey, watch this video about this," but they haven't even told you what they're interested in to know what to share with them, right? You don't want to do that. That's when it comes across as being salesy. Click. Okay. Here's some of the things that we do want to do when it comes to following up. Obviously, we want to be consistent. So do personalize your messages. Be focused on service and value. Okay. And again, what I mean by that is listen to what they have to say, ask questions to understand more of what they're looking for so that you can point them in the direction to give them information of value. Okay. And track your conversations. Again, if you're not, whatever you currently use in your day-to-day life to manage your schedule, then I want you to use that same tool to manage your follow-ups. As soon as you invite someone and they agree to watch something and you say, okay, great. So if I send you this video today, will you have had a chance to watch it by, Friday? Yes. Awesome. I'm going to check. I will follow. I will check back with you on Friday. Okay, done. That's it. And then you can relax and know that, okay, I don't need to be every single day. Oh, I wonder what they're thinking. I wonder if they watch it. No, just wait until that Friday to follow up with them. Okay. Click. So here's a simple follow-up system. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Again, we are going to be providing the replay for you as well. But obviously you have the initial share. Brian already kind of talked about the inviting piece, sending them a tool, things to that nature. Now, obviously, when you're sending them a tool, if it's not a live event that they're going to be joining you on, it's important to set the appointment, right? So you invite them, say, okay, if I send you, like I just said, if I send you this video, will you've had a chance to watch it by Friday? Yes. Awesome. And I'm only asking because I want to make sure that I can talk to you while the information's fresh in your mind. So that's simple. Okay. Then when you follow up at that scheduled time on Friday, the goal here is really to make sure that you're asking questions. What did you like best? Don't ask them what did you think? Okay. You want to be confident. You want to have that posture. What did you like best? What intrigued you the most about what you saw, what you heard? What are you most interested in learning more about? How cool is that? I just gave you 3 questions that you can ask when you follow up with someone based off what you shared with them. Ask them questions. Say, what questions, if any, do you have for me? Now, in most cases, people feel when you ask them that they need to have a question to ask you. So they might ask you something totally obscure, like, "Oh, is this network marketing?" Or, what's this particular ingredient? They feel like they need to know something. They feel like they have to have a question. But let them know. Say, "Hey, look, you don't have to have any questions. I'm just curious if through the information that you watched, if something came to mind. If it did, let's discuss it. If it didn't, no problem." And then I'll literally ask them, "Sounds like you're ready to get started, yes?" "Oh, you don't have any questions? Awesome. It sounds like you're ready to get started. How do you see yourself getting involved as a customer or as a consultant in sharing this technology?" Give them either or, okay? Kind of type in. It's all about asking questions. Then, if they're still not ready, or they're like, "Well, I kind of, this sounds good, or I'd like a little more information, on the products." Okay, great. Well, invite them to a story, send them a testimony, Invite them to a customer Facebook group. We have a Facebook group that shares testimonies and stories. I know there's a lot of other leaders that have groups. If that person isn't ready to say yes yet, that's okay. They need more exposures. So let's get them connected to whether it's a live call or watching another video specific maybe to that product, getting them in the Facebook groups. Your job is to continue to invite them until they're ready to make a decision. Okay, so it's rinse and repeat, and then you ask for a decision. If you could wake up, say for example, if you could wake up in 3 months with feeling well rested and have the energy that you need in order to get through the day and just feel more in control, what would that mean to you? Does it feel like this could help you get there? Right? Or again, I love the how do you see yourself getting involved? Because it forces them to make a decision as to where they're at. Because it's possible that they still may not be ready, not now. For whatever reason, something's holding them back. And you can always ask that, say, hey, look, it sounds like you're still unsure. And that's okay, but help me understand what's holding you back. Because usually the objections that they give you aren't the real reasons. Okay. And that's a whole nother training in itself. But that's the system. Obviously, after you invite, you're going to ask them, you're going to follow up by asking them questions. You're going to answer questions, and you're going to lead them to that next exposure if they're not ready to pull the trigger. Okay. Here's some follow-up examples. Again, you can take pictures if you want. But instead of saying, I'm just following up, most people know what that means. It sounds a little salesy, right? I'm just following up. What if you said, hey, Joe, I was thinking about our conversation the other day. Based on what you shared about wanting more energy and better focus, do you feel like what I showed you could be a good fit? It forces them to tell you either they do or they don't think that it would help them. And if they're unsure, it just means that they need a little more information. Okay. I mean, I like to ask people, it's like, look, if you haven't been sleeping well, like what have you done up to this point to try to sleep better? People want to be able to talk about themselves and what they're doing and the solutions that they've tried. And then you can hear, you listen. The answer is always the questions, okay? Through asking more questions. And again, the reason why something like this works is because it's all about social proof, curiosity, and it makes them feel like they're missing out without being pushy. Okay? It's like, again, what have you been experiencing so far? What have you been doing to be able to sleep better and have better focus? How much longer do you want to feel that way? Like, what have you got to lose, right? So next, the curiosity builder. Oh, so you had already moved on to the next one. Sorry. I was reading the why it works from this one, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense, Brian. That's okay. This one's more of like a curiosity builder for following up. So instead of saying just checking in, right, you can say, I've had a couple people start on Axio this week, and I immediately thought of you. Do you want me to send you what they're experiencing so far? Again, you're asking them permission to send them some testimonies. Most of the time when I've asked people, like, absolutely, sure, why not? Send me some stories. Again, it's that additional proof. It makes them like I missed the why it was working from the previous one, but anyway. So there's different ways that you can follow up. The next one, I think there's one more as another follow-up example. Instead of again saying I'm following up, dun dun dun. It's almost like, I don't know. I feel like we should try to avoid saying follow up anytime we're following up with someone anymore. Like try to just eliminate that. But try instead, when we last talked, you mentioned again, maybe that, the last time we talked, you mentioned that money's been really tight because you've had some unexpected expenses. Are you leaning more towards getting started today, or would you like me to save you a spot for later? Again, it's just kind of positioning it a little bit differently. You're reminding them of what they shared with you that was a pain point, which is why you offered LifeVantage as a solution. It's like, are you leaning more towards getting started now so that we can, build up that cushion or help you with those unexpected expenses so you're not stressing about those so much? Or do you want me to save you a spot for later? Like, not now, right? And again, it gives them a choice. People like being given choices. That's the bottom line. Okay. Next. So again, honestly, I could go a whole hour about follow up and the psychology behind it and more stats and things like that, but we don't have that kind of time today. We're really, if you guys haven't picked up on it, we're trying to keep things simple because we don't want you to overthink them. We're just trying to give you some alternatives. And again, if you're doing something already that's working for you, use it. Just use it. But we're sharing with you some of the things that we're doing and using that have helped us in our business. And I like to switch things up over time. Okay. So again, putting it into action. Wait, no, go back. Go go back. Right. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, you can go forward. I thought I had a different slide in there, maybe not. So again, when it comes to following up, putting it into action, create a list of 10 people to follow up this next week. Write that down. I need you to physically write it down. This is your homework. I want you to, as you're listening to all of this, who are people that you could have or should have followed up with? I've had people slip through the cracks too. And I think of them for whatever reason, top of mind, and I reach out to them real quickly and I shoot them a mess and I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, forgive me for having not gotten back to you sooner. Oh my gosh. And most of the time people are like, oh, no worries. That's okay. Right. And it gets the conversation going. So create a list of 10 people in order to follow up with this next week. Use the system. You're going to invite, you're going to share the tool, and then you're going to follow up and you're going to ask them questions and lead them to the next conversation or exposure. And you're going to rinse and repeat that until they give you a yes, no, or a not now. Does that make sense? Seems fairly simple. And then obviously track your touches. That's how people can slip through the cracks. If you're going to go and spend the time and energy and effort of inviting and sharing in the first place, track it. Use your calendars, whatever you currently do to organize your life with, use that and put those as reminders and tasks and things to do. Okay. Again, the difference between success and failure isn't always about what you know, it's what you follow through on and do what you say you're going to do. Okay. So that was a little bit about the follow up. You guys has anybody has gotten value out of this so far today? You feel like you've gotten some refreshers or some takeaways, some things to be like, man, I gotta get off this call so I can go do some stuff. All right. Yes. Yes. Katina, thank you. I appreciate that. Susan's raising her hand. I see people, Elena, everyone's raising their hands. I love it. Cheryl. Awesome. Absolutely. Wonderful. So, um, our last big chunk of training, I guess, as we say, because I said we were going to keep this to 90 minutes and we are going to do that. So it is exactly top of the hour. And a presidential, Tara Wilson, if you don't know who she is, she's actually going to share with you a little bit about her story as we get started. She, obviously, this was super early for her. Just so you know, we are planning on adjusting the time to be a little bit later in September Eastern time so that we can open it up to having more crossline and upline leaders collaborate with us because we want to take other time zones into consideration, right? 6 a.m. is a little early. I don't blame her for saying, hey, I want to help, I want to be a part of this. But that's a little too early for me. So she gave her the task to talk about objections and closing. And so we're going to share this about 23 minutes. So that's about how long each of us have gone so far. So we're going to play this for you. And again, as you have questions, continue. I'm loving to seeing all the stuff in the chat and the engagement, you guys. Thank you so much for this. This is what makes this fun, right? Is when you guys are engaged and getting stuff out of this. So Brian, I'm going to take it over to you and let you run with Tara's section of our training today. I know he had tested this earlier. Make sure we got sound on here.
Hey guys, it's Tara Wilson, presidential consultant here, and I am so excited to be a part of this Activate Academy with you guys. Um, Tuning in here from Scottsdale, Arizona, and I am just really excited. So Holly and I and Brian, we've worked very closely together on the FAB, and so when I heard this on Monday, I said, hey, if you guys need any help, and I'm always happy to pitch in. This is my love language is training and mentoring. So they asked me to talk about handling objections and closing. Sorry, I have like a hair on my face. And I think they're kind of one and the same. And so real quick, if you guys don't know my story, I've been in the network marketing industry for almost 18 and a half years. This October will be 10 years with LifeVantage, and I love this company. I love everything we stand for, activation and all of that. So, we have something special. And, I was able to replace an income back in 2007, working my business around a busy schedule. I had 2 kids at the time. I always keep this on my desk, even though I have 3 kids, because this was taken the month that I joined. So she was 1 and he was 7. My husband and I both had full-time jobs. I was a wholesale mortgage rep, and he worked for sales and marketing for a Fortune 500 company, PepsiCo. So, when I first found out about it, we talk about objections. I had the same objections that everyone did. When my brother called me in 2007, I said, I don't have time. Well, I didn't. I did not have the time. I was working full time, and every day was like Groundhog Day. Wake up to an alarm clock, get your kids off to school and daycare, go to work, go home, get the kids, grocery shop, cook dinner, clean the dishes, bath time, bedtime, homework, whatever, and then collapse on the couch, pay some bills, watch some TV, do some laundry, and then do it over and over again. And of course, like weekends were literally just pretty much reserved for errands, washing the car, taking the garbage out, doing laundry, etc. So, I didn't have the time. So when people say, oh, I don't have time, I'm like, yeah, I didn't either. I just tell my story. I didn't have the time, but I did. Because what I found was I was watching TV. And so a lot of people don't like to hear this because it's scary. And I'm just grateful that Netflix was not around when I started, is that I didn't watch TV in my first 6 years in network marketing. You heard that. My first 6 years in network marketing, I watched almost zero TV. Like every once in a while we'd watch like, the World Series or a movie or something like that. But I was watching not Modern Family, what was it called? Desperate Housewives, Grey's Anatomy, The Bachelor. Those were things that like I watched. And then I knew it was 6 years because I got a notification one day that says your DVR is full. And as I was sitting there just deleting 6 seasons of all these shows, I thought to myself, God, that used to be important to me. Like I used to care about that. I used to like scramble every Thursday night, to get to the couch to watch Grey's Anatomy, or, Monday's The Bachelor, who's going to get the rose. And I finally started realizing like I created my own reality. In those 6 years, I became a millionaire, and I helped create or was part of the story of 6 other millionaires. And then that's when I learned the true value of like trading off time. So I did have the time. I wasn't making the time. It's so funny. I know the men out there are going to cringe, but like when men are like, we don't have time to build a business. I work full time. I got kids. Really? Because do you watch football? Yeah. Well, there's 8 hours, 9 hours, right? There's at least 3 football games on it. I don't know. Like baloney, you have the time. People just don't make the time. So what I would just say is, you know what? I tell him my story. I was working full time. I barely saw my husband. I barely saw my kids. I was dropping them off at daycare. I was never able to work in my son's classroom, never volunteered. Every year when the signups came out, I was sad that I couldn't do those things. I couldn't go on the field trips, right? And what I found was I worked my butt off. I made some sacrifices, and I was able to quit my job. Now I have all the time. I was able to pick up my kids after their nap, after their school. I was able to start working in their classrooms and going on the field trips. And I did all of that. I never forget that little look on my daughter's face when she's in kindergarten, and she'd get this little wiggle butt when I would come in, and she's like, Mama, like every Tuesday or whatever, I did Tuesdays and Thursdays. She would just light up to see her mom in the classroom with her. It was important to her, and I'll never forget that. And like those are the things, like all the money in the world and things, there's nothing more important. So that's what this industry, this profession gave me, is more time than ever. And then in 2012, we had earned enough money and we were making enough money monthly. And we were very smart about it. I always tell people, do not quit your job before you're ready. You know, we had like $500,000 in the bank and we're earning $80,000 a month before we made the decision that Chris should come home too. And that was September of 2012. So for the last 13 years next month, you know, my kids who are 16, 19, and 25, so I mean, do the math, they were young, were able to have 2 work from home parents that were able to, you know, be coaches and, you know, be volunteers and to pick them up and, you know, take vacations and do all the fun things that you want to do. But when you have a 40-hour-week job, you don't have time to do. So that's what I do is like, if you don't have time, everyone has time. Most people aren't willing to give up things like TV. You know, when people come to me on my team and they're like, oh, I'm just not having success. I'm like, okay. And then I small talk with them. I'm like, so what's your favorite show? Like any good shows? And they're like, oh, I watch this. I'm like, that's why you're not successful. You have a favorite show. You know, again, I gave up television for 6 years. You do what you want, but there's no regrets. I do not regret not finishing The Bachelor, Grey's Anatomy, Desperate Housewives, and whatever else. I don't regret it all. I don't miss it. You know what I mean? Like I created my own reality. So time is probably one of the biggest things you're going to hear the objection from. And usually people don't realize how much time they waste. And I always do like a fun little exercise. I'm like, okay, well, you have how many hours a week, right? You've got 24 hours times 7. So 24 times 7 is 168 hours a week. Okay. So let's do the math for you guys. You're going to love this. 168. Let's say you work 40 hours a week, right? So 40 hours a week, you sleep. I'm going to give you 8 hours sleep. You sleep 56 hours, right? I'm going to give you an hour for meals, 20 minutes for breakfast, 20 minutes for lunch, 20 minutes for dinner. So you're going to get 7 hours for meals. I'm going to let you work out every day. You're going to get 7 hours of workouts. Most of you don't do that. I'm going to give you 2 hours for church. Okay. What else? What else is important? Oh, I'm going to give you an hour a day for showering and getting ready. Look how generous I am. Another 7 hours, right? So you add that up, 96, 97, 98, 105, 119. I'm going to give you 30 hours to play with your kids. Wow, parents out there, like, right? Like, I know the Highfields do. I see them with Austin all the time. I'm going to give you 30 hours to play with your kids. So that's a grand total of 149. You still have 19 hours to build your business. People have time. So that isn't a real objection. Most of the time people, they don't realize and just say, hey, well, if you did have the time, would you build the business? And by the way, I should have probably said this first. Your job as a network marketer isn't to shove the opportunity down their throat until they see it. That's not your job. You guys have heard the whole, like the what's it called? Like the metaphor, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So what people is, you know, do as, especially in network marketing, they get so freaking excited. They're excited about the opportunity. Somebody that's Maxio here. They're excited about the opportunity. They're excited about the products. They're excited about Evolve. They get it, they see it, and they want everyone to see it. I mean, I just got off a cruise of 500 plus LifeVantage people. I love this company. I love our products. I love going on free trips, right? Or earned trips. But it's like, you're looking for people who are looking. So your job as a network marketer isn't to drag people to the water, like drag them to water. Please drink, drink, drink. They're like, Tor, I keep sending this video out. I'm like, well, have you had a conversation with them? Because your job as a network marketer is not to drag the horse to the water. Your job is to make the horse so thirsty it's begging you for the water. And how do you do that? You do that by painting vision. You do that by sharing your story, by sharing your lifestyle, by sharing your vision. Like, of course, at one point I wasn't a 7-figure earner. And so I was like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to help people get healthy. I'm going to help people make money. These ladies are making all this money. I'm going to figure it out. Come with me. So before I had the story, I had vision. I had passion. I had excitement. I was like, let's figure this out. Let's do it together. So, you know, a lot of times you're just like, if someone's saying no, if someone's truly interested in an opportunity, they want to earn money, they love health and wellness, they love the idea of activation, maybe they love our products, maybe they're already a customer and they're still saying no, it's usually just because They don't have enough information to make a decision that's right for them. Will they have the time? Will they be able to do this? Will they be able to acquire the skills, right? So another one you're going to get is, you know, I don't have the money. Oh, that's my favorite one. I was like, that's exactly why you need to do that. I always go, this is what I say to people. How long do you want that to be your story? Because my worst nightmare is to not have $500 or $1,000 to do whatever I want with, to ever have to ask my husband to get a pedicure or manicure. That's my worst nightmare. To not pay off my credit card bill. I have never had a credit card statement except for one time my husband got laid off a long time ago. I borrowed money from my mom to pay it off. I have never not paid my credit card off every month. I have never bounced a check. I have never been late to a payment, right? I have good credit. And that's because I've always worked hard. So before I was in network marketing, you know, when I was in college, I didn't want student debt. So I worked as a waitress in a steakhouse and I made enough money and I got out of UC Berkeley with zero debt, right? So get your head above water, but you can do a lot of things to you know, to make money. Is this something that interests you? Right? If you don't have the money to get started, you can start your business for a couple $100, right? You can get in on one of the lower packs, you know, like you can just buy whatever kits you want. I tell people, get in where you fit in. If you can afford the business pack, 100% it's the best one. It's all of the LifeVantage store. It would be like saying, I'm going to open, this is just a weird example, but I'm going to open a liquor store, but I'm not going to buy the wine or the beer. I'm just going to have a couple bottles of vodka on the shelf, and I'll let people know that if they're interested, what we might have tequila. Like that's you know, silly. Of course you want to try, you want to experience. Like I love that I use all of our products except for like one, which is it's irrelevant. It doesn't agree with my system. But like, I love that I can say, I love our conditioner. It's so creamy. I love our skincare. I love the way my skin glows after, like, because I've used it. So yes, of course. But if someone's really struggling with money, say, look, I will get you in, we'll find a way, a thing, and I will help you. Let's help you make the money back before you have to pay off your credit card or borrow it from your mom or whatever. Like the money is the reason you do a business, you guys. It doesn't take money to make money too. It takes hard work. It takes effort. Let me show you how I did this. Let me show you how I can, you know, I made my money back the first day I joined this company. The first day I joined this company, I made my money back, you guys. The first day. And I came in on a $1,200 pack because that's what it was in 2015. The first day I made my money back, right? So I was just willing to work hard and make the calls and do the things and do whatever it took to get people to see the vision, and having conversations and sharing the information. I was able to make my money back the first day. So, you know, just tell people, like, you know, do you want that to be your story? Do you want to be in debt? Do you want to struggle? Or do you want to be able to have options? Do you want to have an option whether you want to work your job or not? Do you have an option whether you want to be home with your kids or not? Do you want an option if you can, like, I can write a check and pay for all of my kids, you know, one of my daughters got a scholarship, but all of their colleges, I can just write a check for all their colleges, for their cars, for their weddings, all because of this industry, what has provided for me. And so if you're, I just tell people, like, are you willing to work? If you're willing to work, I can show you how to make money. Making money is the easiest thing ever. I believe that. That is a paradigm that I have, that making money is the easiest thing in the world. Isn't that crazy? Maybe that's why I'm a millionaire, because that's what I believe. I believe making money is easy, that money is everywhere. Money just follows value. You provide value for people, they will give you their money. So, and you know, my other favorite one is, I'm not a salesperson. Awesome, because this isn't a sales position. You're sharing a lifestyle. You're sharing an opportunity. You're sharing products that you use, you know, you trust, that you love. You're sharing a vision. You're sharing a community. You know, you're sharing an opportunity. You're not selling anyone. If you have to sell anyone, like close them, hard close, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. If you have to close them and hard sell them into the business, you're going to have to hard sell them every single month. You don't want to be in that trap, guys. You want to share with people who are open to looking for, you know, an opportunity in the health and wellness space to earn extra income, work from home, work from their laptop, and be able to get paid for their efforts as much as they want. I can give myself a raise anytime I want. I just have to go pound the pavement. I just have to go, you know, go on social media. Every time I go on social media, I get customers, I get consultants, right? I've built a brand on social media. So that's also a thing. It's, you know, you can just be an influencer. You can build a brand. You can have a point of view. Like, I have a gal on my team. She has 130 something thousand followers, because she had lipedema and that she was told it was incurable. Well, she got rid of her lipedema, not from LifeVantage products, but with a culmination of activation and surgery and all this stuff. She is able to now wear shorts for the first time in her life. And she's built a brand around that and enrolls about 10 to 15 LifeVantage customers every single month because she believes the collagen helped her. She believed, you know, all of these things helped and has attracted other influencers in the lipedema community. Obviously, you guys know we have a lot of influencers in our company that preach health and wellness and weight loss and all that. So and that's also a thing is you can just be a person that gives value. Again, the more value you give, the influencers are only influencers because they're constantly pumping out content to make you trust them as a like as a professional in that category, so that when they do go to sell you something, you're going to buy it because they've given you so much value, right? So you don't have to be a salesperson. All you have to be doing is willing to say, hey, I got an amazing opportunity. You know, I'm looking for 3 kinds of people. I just started my own health and wellness business, and I'm looking for 3 types of people. I'm looking for people who want to also start a business, entrepreneurs who don't have any idea. We have the only product ever proven to extend life in mammals. Like we have a life extending product. We have the anti-aging product in the world. And we have a whole line of wellness products that you're going to probably want to be a customer anyway. And being a consultant, you get the best price. We're looking for business partners to expand in this area. We're also looking for people who just want to take the products. You want to elevate your health, your skin, your cells, your gut, all the things. We have solutions for a lot of the problems that you probably already have, right? And then I'm looking for, if those aren't either one of you, can you think of 5 people that you could refer me that might be interested in the first 2? You never come out of a conversation with nothing. You either come out with a customer, a consultant, or a referral. And if you want a good book that really teaches that, there's a book called Get Over Your Damn Self by Romy Neudstadt, Neudstadt. She went from 0 to a 7-figure earner in Rodan and Fields, which is no longer a company, but she wrote a book called Get Over Your Damn Self. That's how she was so successful. Unbelievable conversations. And she taught that to her team and they were able to grow really fast. So you don't have to be a salesperson. Is it one of those pyramid things? I don't even entertain that. I'm like, come on, guy, this is 2025. Did you really just ask that? Like, that's something that that's something people say when they just don't know and say like, well, what if it's not? Is that the only thing holding you up? Like, what if it's not? It's a publicly traded company that Aaron Brockovich was on our board for 5 years. So what if it's not a pyramid? Is that really the only thing? So if it's not, are you good? And a lot of times, like, you know, my close is just this. Do you want to make extra income? Do you want to, you know, share these products with the people you know, love, and trust? Yes, great. How much are you willing to put into it? You will get into it, what you get out of it, what you put into it. Are you willing to be coachable? Are you willing to follow a system? Are you willing to learn a conversation? Are you willing to use the tools? And by the way, we have so many tools that tell the story. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to learn about NRF2 activation and collagen, and you don't have to learn it all. You just have to learn how to share the information with people. Could you do that? Guys, I want to tell you a quick story. I don't even know how long it's been, Holly, sorry. I got to tell you a quick story. You had a pastor, and he went to Pro 5 or now MC2. MC2 is first month. And we're like, I interviewed him on a call. I was like, let's talk to Bill. We called him the pastor of disaster because he was just so crazy and funny. And we're like, okay, Pastor Bill, I had no idea what was going to come out of his mouth. I thought he was going to give like these valuable business tips. And I go, how did you do it? He goes, I sent 50 people a text that said this. If I send you an 11-minute video, the ABC Primetime Investigative Report, that will blow your mind. So if I send you an 11-minute video that will blow your mind, will you watch it? And he says, every person responded back, sure, what do you got? And he says, a lot of people saw the vision. And he says, can you send this text to 50 people and you can build a business? So he got, you know, he enrolled the consultants. He enrolled a boatload of customers, did over $20,000 in sales his first 30 days, you guys. Do not overthink this. If I send you a video that'll blow your mind, will you watch it? How many of you would watch that video if they sent it to you? I know I would. So sorry, I'm like a hot mess today. Didn't wash my hair. So anyway, I know, Holly, you're laughing at this point. You're like, oh my gosh, she's such a hot mess. Okay. I need to think about it. Talk to your spouse. Well, look, do this. Share the information that you saw that got you excited with your spouse. And by the way, you guys, if at all possible, try to never have a conversation with someone without their spouse present, unless they're the decision maker. I came home and my husband's like, so you're going to do this juice business? Because my first company was a juice. And I said, Yeah, so he paused SportsCenter, looked at me, and I go, yeah, and he goes, okay, back to SportsCenter. He's been my biggest fan. He's been my biggest supporter. He was never mad at me, and of course, when I started bringing in checks, he was really supportive. Like, okay, go, go, go. Like, what do you need to do? He's always been kind of like CFO, and my CTO. He says my technology, like cameras, all these lights that I have in my office. He does our finances, our taxes, our investments, all that stuff. He actually works harder than I do. So, listen to their valid concerns. Hey, I'm just going to say Judy. Hey, Judy, you told me that you were interested. You follow me. You reached out to me, said, I'm interested in what you're doing. Like, I want to earn extra income. So what are the things that you need to learn or know before you make a decision? Some people might just say, well, I just need a payday. Some people are so scared to even ask someone, do you want to join? Do you see yourself being a customer or a consultant with LifeVantage? And letting them just tell you where they fit in. After giving them information, just say, hey, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself being a customer, a consultant, or a referrer? Like all three of those would be so helpful for me, and I would appreciate it so much. And if they refer you people that that join, give them a free gift. They'll give you more referrals, right? So like listen to their concerns. Sometimes people are just like, oh, well, I don't know how it works. Can you help me? Yeah, sure. If I were to show you, if I were to teach you, they might say, oh, I want to learn how to comp plan. I want to learn how to do it. I want to learn how to talk to people. Great. If I can do all that with you and teach you along the way, would you like to start your business today? And what level would you like to come in? So I don't really have a hard close. Like, I guess my close is this one, like, when you paint the vision and people see that you have a solution for the problem or the idea that they have, they literally close themselves. I've never been like, are you ready to join me today? Like, hey, all right. Well, so what's going on? Are we going to do this? Like, I'm so casual about it. Like, when people come to me, I'm like, yeah, let's go. This is what it is. This is what I do. We'll do a launch. I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. I will, put you under my wing and take you with me for as long as you need. And you know what? I will teach you all the things. I will teach you how to crawl, how to walk, how to run. And so you guys, like, I think people overthink this. What you want to do is you want to create curiosity. You want to give them information, and then you want to ask a question. Do you need more information, or are you ready to make a decision? And where do you see yourself fitting in? And I have made a fortune without ever doing anything weird, without buying leads, without knocking on doors, flyers, billboards, nothing. I just ask people, who do you know who wants to get healthy and make money? That is literally what I've been saying since 2007. Who do you know who wants to get healthy and make money? And people say, what do you got? So let me share this with you. And I'm not kidding, no matter what tool it is. I mean, obviously when I launched LifeVantage, it was the ABC Primetime Investigative Report. No matter what tool it is, people are so excited and are like, I want more. I want more information. Is this real? This is amazing. Well, I will at least be a customer. And you know what? I can think of a few people that would want to, so why don't I join in the business? Most people, if you give them enough information and you show them a tool and you share your story and your excitement, they'll close themselves. So I hope this was helpful. I could literally give you so much more, but we have something so magical, so golden. We have such incredible cellular breakthroughs, and we have more products coming. We have a wellness store that I'm so proud of. As a LifeVantage consultant, I'm proud to put it in my body, on my kids, in my kids, and I'm proud to share these with everyone I know. There's not a friend that would come to my house and stay the night at my house that is not on my products. They see my posts. It's funny, my mother-in-law, we'll launch a new product and I'll go to her house, I'll be there. I'm like, you didn't ask me about it. She's like, I follow you on Facebook. So use social media as a tool, but you want to have conversations. And then posting on social media, constantly giving them value and adding what these products do, how great they are, all the studies, all the things, and you're just reselling the people over and over on staying. You know what I mean? So I hope you got this value. Highfields, thank you for all you do. It's an honor to serve on the Field Advisory Board with you. I appreciate you guys for doing this. And thank you for having me. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.
Woo! Do you guys just not love her energy? Oh my gosh. For as long as I've known her, I've never known her to not have energy. She is always on Mach 10, I swear. But I love it because it fuels me too. I mean, look, 13 years in this business, I'm not going to lie. There's definitely days where I'm like, oh, I really don't want to talk to people today. I really don't want to follow up with anybody today. But that just means we're all human. That just means we're all human. I love it. So, Yes, I love it. Marilyn went ahead and dropped fire emojis. Yes, drop a fire emoji or hands clap, something, heart in the comments if you have been enjoying today's I love it. Yay. All right. All right. That makes me happy. So you think maybe we should do something like this again? Yeah? You guys want to maybe join us again next month? And maybe we'll have some other speakers join us and talk some more on skills. Yes, yes. Okay, love it. All right. So, for those of you, mark your calendars or write it down right now. I don't have the time just yet. Again, we're going to be tweaking the times, but we've already made the decision. Our next training will be Saturday, September 20th. Okay, so write that down. Anybody that was not on this training that should have been, make sure that you let them know now to get on top of that. And also, we will be sharing the replay of this probably by tonight. I should be able to go ahead and post it by tonight. It will be on the Team Legacy YouTube channel. I just dropped that link in the comments, so you're welcome to do that. I'll have it in our Facebook groups as well, and I'll send it out to your leaders and some of the WhatsApp groups for the replay as well. But again, so now you just spent nearly the last 90 minutes of your Saturday morning with us, listening, feeding yourself, taking notes. So what do we do next, Brian? We got 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and wrap this baby up.
Sounds good. Well, we talked about Momentum Academy in Dallas. You really need to be there. And I wish I had updated figures on this, but people who attend events make a lot more money than the people who don't. Okay, they rank events a lot faster than the people who don't attend the events. We say it's a non-negotiable, and the people who've been to events understand this. But if you haven't been to one yet or made that commitment, you really want to do so. And I kind of use this analogy. What if LifeVantage had a product that when you take this product, your business grows faster? You feel motivated to make more calls. You have the inspiration to share this with other people. Well, they do have that product, and that product are the events. Okay. How much would you spend? Let's say it was a pill that you took and that gave you this motivation and inspiration and just instilled this belief in you. What if it was a pill? How much would you pay for that pill every single month? I asked this question in a group setting, and people were paying hundreds of dollars a month for that pill if it came in pill form. So it doesn't come in pill form. You have to be there, and don't look at it as an expense. This is an investment in you, because you will walk out of that building a different person than when you walk in. I can guarantee it. And they are that powerful. So action step number one, if you are not already, get registered for Momentum Academy. If you don't know how to get there yet, don't worry, you will figure that out. Okay. We're not living in the age of horse and buggy. Okay. There's ways to get there. And so don't worry about the details yet. Just get registered, make that commitment. Everything else will fall in place. So make sure you're there in Dallas. We're launching a new product, guys. You want to be there to get your hands on it first and see what it is and learn about it there in person. So make sure you're there in Dallas. Second thing, bring a friend, right? Don't go by yourself. Bring somebody with you. Make sure that your whole team, if you have a team, is registered for the event also. Commit early. I don't know why people like to wait the last minute. It's just the procrastination nature and a lot of us that do that. But what I found is when you make the commitment to go early, all the other decisions and the details, they just fall into place, and you get there and you are going to be so glad that you were there. Otherwise, you're going to regret missing that, and your team's going to regret it. So make sure your team, if you don't have a team, find a friend. It's so much more fun to attend this with friends. We love the events. And then number 3, we want to start 5 new conversations this week. All business is conversation. Okay. Start new conversations this week. Maybe it's messaging somebody on Facebook. Maybe it's just calling someone up you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe it's texting somebody and just say, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. How are things going?" Okay, something maybe simple as that. Or it maybe they had an event in their life. Maybe a daughter got married, or they had a baby, or something. Some sort of event, and just say, "Hey, how's that going? I saw that on Facebook. How are you doing?" Okay. just whatever it is. Just keep it simple. Just be you, and how you would do that, and how you would talk to a friend, and just start those conversations. And invariably in those conversations, someone's going to mention maybe a problem they're having. Maybe it's a health issue. Maybe it's a money issue. Maybe it's something money can solve because people like to talk about their problems generally, right? I mean, we'd like to talk about ourselves, we like to talk about our problems. And guess what? Maybe we've got a solution for them. Maybe we've got something for them that they may be open to taking a look at. And we can follow those steps that I did in the invite them to taking a look and see if they're open to taking a look. They're going to say yes. We're going to send them to a tool and we just follow that ITT over and over again. We go through the follow-up steps that Holly went through. If they have any objections and we need to close, I mean, Tara had some phenomenal, phenomenal ways to address those in that training. So if you missed any of that, you can watch the replay in this. Holly's going to put that in our YouTube group or what's it called? YouTube page.
Our YouTube channel. Yeah, I went ahead and dropped that link already in the comments. I know some people, it looks like have already copy pasted it. Again, we'll do our best to make it available. Or if you don't find it somewhere, you can always message me directly. But again, we're at the bottom of the hour. I know, I can't believe it's been 90 minutes already. Woo, love it. But thank you again to each of you for taking time to join us today. Again, use what you got today and put it into action. And with that, may you go out and have a wonderful, blessed, and productive day, weekend, and week ahead. Thanks again, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everyone.